and 3 quarterbacks against the Patriots, including top draft pick Brad Nussmeier. Don't miss the head-on collision between the Saints and the Patriots this Friday night at 7, live only on KGAL-TV Channel 6.
Well, it's called Tourette syndrome. It's something that you may have heard about, but a lot of people don't really know much about it. Well, the illness can affect every aspect of someone's life, but a local man has fought back and won. You're going to show a scene report.
So, on this one, it just controls the dot level. On the race.
Meet Mark Walden. He's 25 years old and works at the Willis-Knighton Fitness Center as an exercise specialist. This energetic and positive-minded young man has an outlook on life that most would consider unrealistic. He believes he can do anything he sets his mind to, despite the obstacles. Something Weldon is all too familiar with. He has Tourette syndrome.
I remember the day I was sitting in Comfort Hospital in a bed. I was 10 years old, and I found out I had Tourette. It was just like someone lifted a Volkswagen off my chest, because for 8 or 10 years, I was 10 years old, I just thought I was crazy. I just thought, I don't know why I'm doing this, but on that day, I know why I'm doing this. I now have something to call it.
Tourette syndrome affects the central nervous system. It's characterized mainly by muscle twitches, sometimes vocal tics. It's a disorder Mark has had to deal with for many years, and it hasn't always been this easy.
The biggest thing in junior high is not learning to do wrong division. It's not figuring out who all the presidents are. The biggest thing in junior high, Tourette or no Tourette, is learning to fit in.
Locally, there are over 300 people living with Tourette syndrome, and officials of the National Tourette Association say 1 in 250 people, many undiagnosed, have Tourette. The disorder is very misunderstood. Many patients with the basic symptoms are often told to seek the help of a psychiatrist. Well, Mark is hoping to play a part in the education process. So this weekend, he'll be involved in a meeting to help establish a local chapter for the Tourette Association.
Because I can relate when someone comes up to me at the conference Saturday and says, Mark, when I was in junior high, everybody mocked me, everybody laughed at me. I can say I know, I've been there.
Mark says he's happy with the life God has given him. To him, life's all about learning to deal with the hand you're dealt. In to report, Phyllis Dean, News Center 6.
And if you'd like to learn more about Tourette syndrome, head on out to a support group meeting at Highland Hospital. That's this Saturday from 3 o'clock until 6 o'clock. Now, you can also call 687-1666 for more information.
A Bowie County teenager received a Medal of Bravery today from the president. Brandon Sisko is honored for saving 2 children who are being attacked by...
It's a TGIF celebration.
I haven't heard such a crying chorus since I showed you that picture of me and Speedo.
Family Matters, and Eric turned 16 and Penny babysits.
Your children are the spawn of Satan.
This much fun since childbirth.
Step by step, and Mark is getting older, too.
The only thing that's getting old is having to look at you all the time.
On Truth.
Tonight, here on Truth.
Well, if you have a chronic health problem, sometimes it helps to talk with others with the same condition. Health reporter Jan Elkins tells us about one young man who's coping with Tourette syndrome and now wants to help others.
Come up, then we'll hold it, and down, nice and slow, good.
Mark Weldon is a fitness expert at Willis-Knighton. To watch him at work, you would never know he had ever had any health problems. But in 1980, Mark was diagnosed with Tourette syndrome. He believes he was the first in our area to be diagnosed.
I had it as bad when I was 10, 11, 12 years old as I've seen anybody ever have it. I had every twitch and tick, muscular tick or twitch, probably manageable. I had vocal tics where you make a real weird noise, like a barking sound almost.
Mark says he could cover hand or arm twitches by putting his hands in his pockets, but the vocal tics were impossible to hide. Mark says Tourette became better as he grew older. Now he's only on 4 milligrams of medication a day to control it.
I don't look at it as something bad. I look at it as something that gives me an opportunity to meet people, to share my life with people, and more importantly, inform them about Tourette, because it is a very misunderstood disease.
He hasn't seen any studies about the effects of exercise on Tourette's, but Mark says when he's exercising, the tics are totally gone, but may be more frequent after a strenuous workout. As a child, he didn't know if he would ever be independent and successful. Now he wants to encourage others through a support group.
We're starting a support group Saturday. That's going to be a really big thing for me. I've been looking forward to it for about 2 months. And not necessarily to help me, but when I was 10, 11, I needed to be able to see somebody that was successful, that had it lit.
And if you're interested in being part of the Tourette Syndrome Support Group, the meeting is tomorrow from 3 until 6 at the Highland Hospital Conference Room. There is no charge.
Well, area firefighters are showing their support again for MDA.
Starting this weekend, they'll be working the streets to raise money for Jerry's kids.
Bo Roberts and Margene McCoy are standing by live. Guys, how's the boot working so far? How much money have you raised?
Well, we just got started. This is the first afternoon of the boot drive. We just kicked it off. This is the first day of it. We hope to do better this year than we did before. We always try to find some good reason to get the guys motivated. And this particular year, it's going to be done in memory of Captain Glenn Lackaby, who we lost, as you know, a while back. And this year's phrase is going to be "Fill the Boot for Love."
Well, you know, we remember Glenn very well, Margene, because he was always on the very front row of the telephone bank, and he always worked very hard for raising money for Jerry's kids. Chief Roberts, is this sort of the thing you like to see your men and women do? I mean, getting so involved in the community, helping out with a project so good, like raising money for Jerry's kids?
Oh, you bet, Liz. Well, we think this is one of the better things that we do in our off time. And, we're able to do it while we're on duty, but, if the run comes in, we also respond to it. A lot of the things that we respond to it's something where, there's life and death involved in it. Gunshot wounds, car wrecks, heart attacks, babies choking. But this is a way for us to get out and help kids and help people that before the disease ever takes over, and hope we can find something that can help cause this disease to come to an end. So we're really excited about it.
Bo, do you plan to be hitting this every day or just on weekends until Labor Day? I mean, is this going to be an everyday type deal?
Well, this is something that the fire department, through training and other activities, we can't do it every day. But when we're not out doing training and we don't have a run, we're going to try to get out and make the most of it.
Margene, let me get the ball rolling now. How much did you raise last year?
We raised $70,000 last year.
And you always try to go at least $1 higher every year, don't you?
Well, not really. I'll tell you, Liz, about the last couple of years, we just told all of the guys and girls to just do the best they can.
Yeah.
But for some reason, they beat the record anyway.
Every year.
And I really expect them to beat it again this year. We certainly do hope so.
All
right, Margene, Bo, thanks for being with us.
Thanks.
Jason Alexander and Julia Louise Dreyfus are big stars on the small screen.
The two take their talents to the big screen in the new movie North. Driscoll and Ebert's review is next.
Is this mean you and her there?
Let's call Grandpa.
Hello? Hello?
You want to try mine, Dad?
Don't take a chance on cheap equipment. Make the right choice the first time. I'm Tony Cason, owner of CSI, where we sell only the finest, most dependable cellular telephones, but at a price you can afford.
Now what will you do, Dad?
Paddle, son.
What will you do next, Dad?
Get a new phone.
Enjoy the luxury of leather for less at Hank. We have the South's largest selection of leather sofas at $699.95 in many styles and colors. This top frame leather sectional has 2 recliners, storage, and a sleeper, only $1999.95. These leather recliners spell comfort. Rocker recliner, $439.95. Swivel glider recliner, $499.95. All are top quality leather, and leather gets better with age. Just like us. Hank's Outside Fine Furniture. Selection, quality, low price, every day.
There's a lot to see and do this weekend, and here's a look at what's happening. Al Green will be the featured act at tonight's Blues Legend Festival. It's at Hearst Coliseum. Other acts on the bill include Shirley Brown, Bobby Rush, and Clarence Carter. Tickets are $18.75. The show starts at 8. East Bank Theater continues its production of Medea. Performances are slated tonight through Sunday at the Playhouse on Barksdale Boulevard. Tickets are $4 and $6. The curtain goes up each night at 8. They'll be dancing for dollars tonight in Texarkana. The YWCA and the Texarkana Patriots host the fundraiser for MDA. It's at the Y on Magnolia Street. And everyone's invited to David Raines Park tomorrow for a day of food, fun, and crafts. The annual festival in the park starts at 10. Admission is free.
Well, we've all heard stories about really bad parents. And I'm sure you didn't have bad parents. You had great parents.
No, they were great. I don't know if they thought I was great.
That's probably the case. Well, there's a new movie out called North. You can see some really bad parents in this movie, but Siskel and Ebert aren't so sure if it's the movie to see.
A boy, played by Elijah Wood, gets fed up with his folks in that scene from North and decides that since they don't pay attention to him, he will divorce them and go looking for a new set of parents. And that's the setup for one of the most thoroughly hateful movies of recent years, a movie that makes me cringe even when I'm sitting here thinking about it. Look at this scene, for example, where young North is in court trying to dump his parents who are comatose with shock.
And there's nothing left for me to do but make my judgment. And in my judgment, any folks who would sleep through a trial like this are folks who don't deserve to have a wonderful, upstanding son like North.
Then there's a series of auditions as would-be parents from around the country try out for the role of North's new mom and dad. Dan Aykroyd and Reba McEntire are a couple of absurd Texans who want to adopt him.
We had a son who was trampled by a ton of longhorns, but you're here cute to fill his boots, flat as they may be.
Next stop, the Hawaiian Islands, where we get some amazingly tasteless dialogue about why these two people don't have children.
Hawaii is a lush and fertile land. In fact, there's only one barren area on all of our islands. Unfortunately, it's Mrs. Holt.
A mysterious character keeps turning up on North Travels. He's played by Bruce Willis as an Easter bunny, a Western ranch hand, a beachcomber, and a Federal Express driver who gets in lots of product plugs.
Some kind of guardian angel?
Well, I guess you can say that. Because in a manner of speaking, we at Federal Express feel that we are guardians. Guardians of your most important packages and priority communication.
It's deplorable. I mean, there isn't a gag that works. You couldn't write worse jokes if I told you to write worse jokes. And, of course, you could always... The ethnic stereotyping is appalling.
Yes.
It's embarrassing. You feel unclean as you're sitting there. It's junk. First-class junk.
Wow.
Yee.
Yeah.
Can't embellish that at all, can you?
At least the weather's not going to be that bad. It's going to be typical summer for the Arctic through the weekend. Partly cloudy, hit or miss afternoon stuff. Temperatures continuing in the 90s. We'll have more.
Okay, and we'll be back.